are live. What is good, everybody? It is International Fight Week. We are back with a numbered event, and it is the return of, dare I say, the most influential fighter in UFC history. The return of the notorious Conor McGregor. He is rematching Max Blessed Holloway in the main event of International Fight Week. This is going to be a banger. A lot of big names on this card. Got a couple former champions, got some undefeated fighters, high level ranked matchups. All in all, I think this should be a really good international fight week. If there's anything you guys would like to add, feel free.
The return of the Mac, biggest star in the sport. We've been waiting for this for 5 years. It feels like 4 years at this point. So it's just good to have him back. Still the biggest star in the sport, no matter how inactive he's been.
Return of the Mac. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm just pumped.
Go into the first.
Right, agreed. So without further ado, let's jump right on in to the opening fight of the night, where we have Cody Durden, 18-10-1, going up against Alessandro Costa, 16-5. Mike, why don't you take the lead off to start 329?
I got you. I got Alessandro Costa. At first, I was gonna go with Cody Durden. I almost said Cody Garbrandt. Holy shit! But yeah, I almost went with the Cody Durden pick. I almost went with I almost fell for the trickery just because of the role he's been on lately. But I don't know, man. There's been I was looking at some tape earlier. I've been doing a lot of tape studying for this whole card, and Alessandro Costa has a couple of finishes with some mean body shots, and the weakest thing in Cody Durden's and his skill set is his body, the getting hit to the body. He don't like getting hit to the body a lot, and I could just so see him crumbling with body shots. So I'm gonna go with a second round, maybe a late first Alessandro Costa body shot finish. I think he's got some mean body shots. I'm not over here gonna sit here and act like Alessandro Costa is the truth or anything, but I think he's got the tools to beat a Cody Durden. Cody Durden has lost to some. He has lost to some good names, but there is some losses that he has in his resume that doesn't really sit well to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight just because, Cody Durden, he has like a history of beating like people you expect him to lose to and losing to people you expect him to win to. Like Charles Johnson fight at that time, everybody kind of expected Charles Johnson to kind of piece him up, but Cody Durden did his thing and out-grappled him, and I feel like we're coming off of a high for Cody Durden right now, losing to beating Jafel Filho. When a lot of people had Filho picked. That being said, I think this fight, Alessandro Costa is a bit of like, I don't want to call him an unk because nobody's really an unk at flyweight unless you're like fucking Hoosier Formiga or like Kyoji or Demetrius. But he's been around for a couple of years. He's not super young. I want to say he's in his 30s. He's got like kind of like old man strength damn near. And Cody Durden just looks withered. Like I feel like, he's going to beat guys based on the holes other people have in their game. But, Alessandro Costa doesn't really have a real weakness in the striking game, not real weakness in the grappling game, outside of the fact that he's just not super elite in either. But he's got a lot of power. Like, just looking at him, you're going to be able to tell he's got more power than Cody Durden does. I guess maybe there's a chance Cody Durden could, like, volume him to death and, like, just shoot a bunch of takedowns and throw a bunch of strikes and win a decision that way. But like Mike said, Alessandro Costa's got a nasty body shot. He's got a lot of power. He's kind of relying on the finishes. He's got great low kicks. He's finished who's now a ranked flyweight contender in Kevin Borjas with leg kicks. I just think he's a guy that can defend the takedowns, and when he hits Cody Durden, he'll put him out. So I'll go Alessandro Costa. I'm going to say end of the first round knockout, hurts him to the body, lowers his hands, and finishes him with like a big uppercut or hook or something. That just like Alessandro Costa, first round KO.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We're going with Costa. We're not going with Cody Durden. Shout out to Cody Durden, though. But, yeah, we're going with Costa all the way. I got second round TKO.
First fight of the night. Cody Durden coming off a big upset win over Jafal Filho. Jafal was something stupid, like minus 650 or something, massive favorite. And Cody Durden was able to come through and pretty much outclass Jafal Filho truly, like in a lot of facets of MMA. Arguably outgrappled him, was able to get out of submission attempts, was able to just beat him up on the feet with the volume and the boxing. Cody Durden, he's very game. He just got a new contract. That was like, I think, the last fight on his contract prior to that. So he's feeling a high, like Alex said. And given his history with the 18-10 record, I see where Alex is coming from, thinking like coming off that high, does it regress to the mean, to the average? And does he, revert back to normal form where he usually loses? Alessandro Costa, he has a couple losses on his record as well, but specifically in the UFC, his 3 losses are Amir Albazi. He did finish him, which isn't a great look, but still Amir Albazi is a ranked contender at flyweight. He lost to Alden Correa in an upset, but Alden Correa is a good striker in his own right. And I want to say his other loss was Steve Erceg. So, I mean, I think these are not bad flyweights he's losing to. I think the low kicks, the body shots, like Alex and Mike were saying. Mike was saying body shots, and I think Alex was mentioning the low kick, how he finished him. Kevin Borjas, who coming off an upset win in his own right over Andre Lima. So I think Costa is just more powerful, more effective on the feet. I think Durden's a more technical boxer, but if they go band for band, I trust Costa's durability a little bit more than Durden's, just historically. So I'll go Costa, but Durden's tough. I know we think of him as like a guy who gets knocked out easily. He's only been knocked out 2 times in like 28-9 fights. I'm going to go Costa by decision. I think he's a short guy, so it's going to be hard for Durden to get the wrestling going and like manhandle him. I feel like it's going to be control and takedowns versus the damage of Costa. But I think Costa wins a decision where his damage is able to trump it. Low kicks and body shots, I think, are the story of the fight. So I'm going to go Costa by decision in a competitive fight where Cody Durden doesn't look bad, but Costa, just his damage with the kicks and the body shots was enough. As we move on to the next fight of the evening in the middleweight division, where we have Ryan Gandra, 9-1, going up against Zach Reese. I'm going to let Mike kick it off.
You're muted.
Mike, you're muted. You're good.
Yeah. I'm going with Ryan Gandra. I just am not really fucking impressed with Zachary Reese. He kind of gets he's ass. Let's just keep it I'm gonna keep it short and simple. He's ass. He went to a close decision with Mikel Pereira. I know Mikel Pereira is decent for the level Zachary Reese is on, so I guess take that with a grain of salt. But like, bro just looked shit. He just looks shit in all of his fights, and I think people kind of just give him credit just because he'll have like decently cool finishes in his resume. Like, oh my gosh, he had a slam KO or some shit like, or oh wait, no, he got slam KO'd by. Did he get slam KO'd or was he the one doing the slam KO?
He got slam KO'd by Cody.
Yeah. That shit is horrible. Like, I don't know, bro. Bro got highlight reeled by fucking, what's his name? What's his fucking name again? He's so shit that I forget.
Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage. Yeah, Cody Brundage is so ass. I forgot his name, like, after shitting on him not too long ago. Like, I don't know. I'm going with I'm gonna go with a fucking Gandra KO. I'll go first or second.
You know, if Zach Reese wasn't so bad, I might consider picking him here because, you know, like Kevin Christian, who we all picked to lose to Junior Tafa, there's certain types of Brazilians, right? You got your Gene Matsumoto, Lyoto Machida, Japanese Brazilians. You got your like Vitor Petrino, Italian Brazilians. Then you have your Kevin Christian and Ryan Gandra, Indian Brazilians. Now, if you know anything about Indian MMA, they do not win. Looking at Ryan Gandra, though, if he was facing somebody worse or better, it might be, yeah, like that's the thing, because I can't pick him to go very high just because of the Indian DNA. Zach Reese is so bad, though. I think I'm gonna. Just because, like, you did what you had to do against a guy like Jose Medina. Jose Medina sucks. He's got a chin. You got to just get in his face and TKO him and not worry about anything else. So I'll forgive him having kind of like a weird, sloppy-looking performance just because you got to just go in there and finish Medina. Like, you don't let him have that tough moment to him, like, doing the emote at range. And, oh, I'm tough. I'm surviving everything. You kill him. You execute him. So, in some way, I'll give Gandra a break, but not that I think he's very high. It's mostly just I know Zach Reese's buns. He's got all the physical ability. He's got grappling. He's got a long reach, but for some reason just can't put it together. He just is not a good fighter at heart, not very durable, although I do feel like he's kind of tough. I think Gandra's a big guy with some power. Depending on how good of a striker he is, I think he'll just be able to get in the pocket and KO the bum of Zach Reese. So I'm going to go Ryan Gandra. End of the first round, early second round, TKO on Zach Reese.
All right. Man, listen, I'm about to go against the grain. Man, I'm going Zach Reese. You know what? Listen, we can say Zach Reese is terrible. Do you think he's going to lose in front of his idol? Did you see him on Embedded? He was like, I looked up to Conor McGregor my whole life. I studied him. I did this and that. He said I even had a man bun because of him. So listen, you think he gonna lose in front of his idol? No, real shit. Zach Reese can get his ass whooped any other day. He not getting beat up this weekend. Zach Reese gonna find a way to win, and then he's gonna act like he's Conor McGregor. He's gonna do one of his celebrations. He may say, "I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over." He may even say that shit. I don't know. I'm going Zach Reese with the upset.
It's an interesting fight here in the middleweight division because I'm not really high on either of these fighters. In fact, I've picked against both of them. Gandra's only had the one UFC fight, if I'm not mistaken, and I was bold enough to pick the Bolivian, the pride of Bolivia, Jose Medina, and I was wrong. He slept him in the first round. He did exactly what was not supposed to happen. Medina is an all-time chin, but he cracked it. So props to Ryan Gandra to be able to do that. Whereas Zach Reese, I do hear what Alex is saying in terms of the intangibles that he has. He's tall, the reach. He has some semblance of a grappling game, some semblance of a striking game. Not really good at either field, but at least he entertains an area of the fight where he can attempt to do things in those phases of a fight. But he just can't put it together. I did see on Embedded what Jay was saying that, his idol, his dad was like during fight week with him, and he was saying he looked up to Conor McGregor. So I do expect him to fight very motivated in front of his idol, like Jay is saying. So there's really good points to be made on either side. And either way you cut it, don't be fooled by these records. I think this is a lower level MMA fight. No offense to either fighter. But there's holes in their games. What I was thinking what Medina was going to do to Gandra was survive the first round, and let's see if that power translates in the later rounds. We didn't get to see that. Reese, against similar level of competition, the finishes aren't really necessarily coming in the UFC. In 4 UFC wins, he's got about 2 finishes. So it's like 50%. He's finishing Julian Marquez and Jackson McVeigh, but he can't finish Tordovich and he can't finish Medina. It's a tough fight. I think there's solid cases to be made on either side, but I originally wanted to go Zach Reese because I felt like he's just proven more throughout 15 minutes at a UFC level. He's not very good, but I've just seen him gone 15 minutes in a somewhat high paced fight. The people he's losing to, Michelle Pereira, the Cody Brundage loss is not great. Azamat Bekoev, it hasn't aged well. Gandra is powerful, but outside of that, I do not think he's a very good fighter. This is a tough fight, but fuck it. I'm going to go with the dog shot. I'm going to take Savage Zach Reese here.
Yeah.
He's got 5 TKOs, 3 subs. I feel like Gandra, even though he did just prove me wrong his last fight, I kind of feel like he's first round or bust. If he doesn't find the finish, I feel like the longer the fight goes, Zachary Reese will be able to just be the fresher fighter. He didn't look good in the Michelle Pereira fight, but it was a split. I think Michelle Pereira has proven more at a UFC level than a guy like a Gandra. Gandra definitely hits harder, but I'll go Zachary Reese by – I'll go Third round TKO to an exhausted Ryan Gandra, who may have dropped Zachary Reese in the first round, but he would have like stayed safe on the ground enough to not get ground and pounded or subbed. Then come the second round, it's going to look like Gandra is up around, but he's kind of fatiguing. Zachary Reese is going to be chipping away, staying long with straight punches and kicks. Maybe even just try to force grappling exchanges, up the tempo, up the pace. I'm going to go late third round TKO Zachary Reese in a firefight. That's how I'm feeling on that one. As we move on to the next bout of the night, where we are going to the bantamweight division. Fareed Basharat, undefeated, 15-0, going up against UFC debutant John Garza, 6-1. I'm gonna let Mike take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to fight Ethan Ewing. If they were going to make that fight, I was going to pick Ethan Ewing. I am not impressed with Fareed Basharat. I think he is ass just like his brother. Honestly, he's better than his brother. I'll give him that. He's not that ass, but his last fight, you could go to the last fight if you want. Like the John Matsumoto fight was really bad, bro. Like he didn't impress me. He hasn't impressed me at all in his fights. Like for an undefeated prospect, he's like one of the lower level ones, man. Like I wasn't impressed by any of his by his performances. Even the Chris Gutierrez fight, I was not impressed by that shit. I genuinely thought Ethan Ewing was gonna add another fraud checklist in there, and I'm not even that high on Ethan Ewing. You can ask Tony and Alex, and maybe even Jay's heard it in a couple of conversations. I think Ethan Ewing's fucking a bit overrated on the undefeated killing streak, but that's a discussion for another time. I don't think John Garza is going to take Fareed's O. I don't really know too much about him. I watched tape for the Ethan Ewing fight. I didn't really know too much about Garza. I can't find any tape on him. So I'm going to go with the Fareed Basharat decision. And I ain't going to lie, I could so see it being the 6-1 kid that just makes it a competitive fight. 1-1 going into the third, and Fareed just wins it off of just fucking pure holding the kid down for 5 minutes. So I'm going with the Fareed Basharat 29-28 decision, where he just wins via from the skin of his teeth again.
Yeah, I honestly agree with a lot of what Mike is saying. You know, whenever you have like such a young prospect, like coming out of on short notice, you kind of have to pick the undefeated UFC guy. That being said, Basharat really is not all that good. We've seen him just have split decision after split decision against guys who we know really aren't that good and lose to old man Rob Font like Gene Matsumoto. Not to call him out or anything like that, but you know, like John Garza, you know, I honestly, like Mike said, I really could see this being like 1-1 going into the third. The veteran savvy experience is the only thing that pulls it out in the third. I kind of do want to pick him to get a submission just because I do feel like Fareed is like a fringe ranked bantamweight at this point. Like I do think he's better than the majority of the unranked bantamweights. And it seems like the only way to beat John Garza historically is by finish. He's been KO'd in his professional career, submitted looks like 3 times in his amateur career. So it does look like that is a way to beat John Garza. I want to take the risk. I know Fareed Basharat's known for having close decisions, but usually that's against guys who are, you know, still at a UFC level. We're not really sure about Garza yet, young, inexperienced. I'm going to go for submission in the second round. I'm going to say he gets an arm triangle on him in the second round after kind of having a close first round. He's like, all right, fuck it. We're just going to grapple you and fucking hug you until I get a submission. Second round arm triangle, Basharat.
Okay. First of all, I think Ethan Ewing is pretty good. I ain't going to lie to you. I don't think he's going to get a belt, but Ethan Ewing boxing is solid. He has solid combinations, and he probably would have beat Basharat the fuck up too. With that being said, I am picking Basharat. I don't know much. I'm very uneducated on his opponent. He's relatively unknown to me. And yeah, but I do see it being challenging because Basharat has a way to somehow make every fight competitive, even if it's not supposed to. With that being said, that's all I got. That's all I got to say. I wish Ethan Ewing fight didn't get canceled, though.
Yeah, I think this is a clean sweep. I agree with Jay's sentiment that Ethan Ewing definitely would have posed more resistance to Basharat. Definitely had a chance to win the fight. It was a pick'em fight going into the fight. So, as for his opponent, John Garza, 6-1, very young, has some amateur fights. 23 years old, he's a kid. Taking an opportunity on himself. Why not take a shot? You already have one. Already have a pro loss. So, I mean, yeah, like you're not perfect. So why not just try a shot in the big leagues? But I do think this is a bit of a levels fight. I can't help but feeling that. Fareed Basharat, for as much critiquing as we do of him for being a decisionator more often than not, out of 15 pro wins, 8 of his wins are by decision. If he does get a finish, it is most definitely going to be submission. He doesn't really have power in his hands. I know we shit on him for decisions, but I do want to say some of the fights he's like the Matsumoto fight, like the second round I thought he clearly won. Round 1 and 3 is questionable in that fight. Gutierrez is a name. I don't like his fight style, but he's an annoying style to fight, so that's a name. Victor Hugo, not a bad win-loss ratio, but this win right here, I rate a lot. I think Taylor Lapilus is a good win. He's been doing very well in the PFL in the bantamweight division. I think Taylor Lapilus is a good striker, and I think he's better than this John Garza. Damon Blackshear is a good grappler. Alan Bagrosso, he's like a name on the regional scene. He's fought in Bellator and PFL. But the Taylor Lapilus win, Matsumoto, Chris Gutierrez, I think all of these guys at this present moment are better than Garza. I don't even need to be yapping on this one for too much. Copy and paste exactly what Alex said. I think where Basharat has a lot of decisions, I think he's going to take advantage of the opportunity going against an inexperienced guy on his debut. And I think he made a great point with the submission losses on the amateur scene. I'm going to go second round sub Fareed Basharat. I think he capitalizes on this young prey instead of Ethan Ewing, for lack of better words. I just think this is a significantly easier fight for him, and he should have the grappling edge in this one. So I'm going to go Fareed Basharat, second round sub, just like Alex said. As we move on to a banger in the middleweight division where we have Damian Pinas representing Aruba going up against Cesar Almeida, 7-2 representing Brazil. I'm going to let Mike kick it off.
Here's the thing about Pinas, you guys. He unloads dangerous shots to people's faces, man. Like, I think we can all agree. Damian Pinas lays it down, bro. He lays it down on people. I'm going to go with Damian Pinas by KO. I think he's going to land some dangerous shots onto Cesar Almeida's chin, maybe even his face. Who knows? I don't know, man. I think Damian Pinas is he's a legit contender, man. Pinas, man. Pinas via KO, loading shots on the ground.
Yeah, on paper, both guys are strikers. One guy is a guy that's fought against Alex Pereira and, that kind of circuit of kickboxers. I want to say fought Adesanya too. And the other guy's kind of a young MMA fighter. But I'm going to be honest, the pure girth and tonnage of Pinas is what'll carry him through this. The length of Pinas, that's the big thing. If you want a Pinas, you need him to fight long. Cesar Almeida is like stubby, you got to overwhelm him with your girth. So that's what I want to see from Pinas this weekend. It's just, it's a range and length thing because both guys are going to want to strike. One guy's like early 20s. The other guy's almost 40. And it's going to be a kickboxing battle. And one guy is just going to simply be longer. He's going to be denser. He's going to be more vascular, veinier. And that's what wins fights, really. And I mean, you know what they always say, the big ones hurt, and they really do. The length is what really gets it, the power. Cesar Almeida, you looking at him, he's kind of fat, he's short. I get he's a kickboxer and he has all this experience. You're getting fucking rocked by Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who's just, he doesn't have the length that Pinas does. It's just short range, like T-Rex power punches. I feel like Pinas, although in his debut, it wasn't really that much of a. I want to say it was like Wes Schultz he KO'd. He felt the girth and tonnage of Pinos firsthand, but Cesar Almeida, he's going to be able to hold a distance a little bit better against Pinos just because of the striking background. But Abdul Razak Hassan proved that if you can just get in range and fucking hit him hard, you can really make this fight close, even if you don't have the same experience that Cesar Almeida does. And the range difference between Al Hassan and Pinos is just different. So I got to go Pinos. I'm going to go KO. I'm going to go in the first round. I feel like he's going to start fast, and just the length and the power is going to get him done. Pinos, end of the first round KO. Girth and tonnage.
It's my turn? Hey, what's that nigga name?
Damian Pinos.
Because I was hearing penis when we first started. So
That's right. That's correct.
So, yeah.
Pinos.
Pause.
He's
Pinos.
the biggest man in the division, man.
I bet. I don't want to find out. So like, I don't even know what to say. I done heard penis, girth, tonnage. Like I done heard. So I'm assuming we're going reach. Like niggas didn't say reach or whatever. Niggas is just saying he the longer fighter. Niggas just saying anything right now.
Width matters too. Width matters too. Circumference.
Yeah. You were saying girth. You were saying he's long, veiny, girthy. Pause. You were saying all that. So, listen, this Travis Hunter looking motherfucker, I'm gonna pick him. I'm picking Pinos. That's who I'm picking because I don't even know if we're talking about fighting anymore. It sounds like the nigga he fighting about to get fucked. It sounds like Almeida's getting fucked. So I'm picking Pinos by however he wants. Fuck.
Yeah.
Pinos gonna fuck him.
Well, we'll get to Gable Stevenson in a second.
I think Jay said what needed to be said.
First things
Cesar
first.
Almeida.
Oh,
You're good. Cesar Almeida, having fought in Glory Kickboxing against the likes of an Alex Pereira, he's very experienced kickboxer, like Alex was saying, but he's also 38 years old. This is a guy who also doesn't have that much MMA experience. He only has 9 pro fights in MMA. A lot of kickboxing, but grappling. Roman Kopylov mixed it in. Abdul Razak Al Hassan, I want to say he may have attempted a throw or a takedown of some kind. I know Cezary Olancechuk mixed in grappling. We haven't really seen anybody approach a striking solely based game plan against him at least at a UFC level. And anybody who's attempted, it hasn't gone their way. Ihor Peteria, the likes of that. But for what it's worth, Donovan Wise, that's another good kickboxer he fought in Glory Kickboxing. He is durable. I can understand why Alex and Mike are picking Pinos by KO. He's got 8 KOs and 9 pro wins. He's prolifically like a knockout artist. And I completely understand when you watch the Abdul Razak Al Hassan fight, why you could want to pick him to win by KO. But he's a pretty durable guy. Going the distance with Alex Pereira in 2 kickboxing scenarios. Donovan Wise. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I don't think Cesar Almeida has ever been knocked out in his career. There is a first time for everything. I don't mind it if you pick it here. Pinos is explosive. He's got the reach advantage. He's dynamic. But either way you cut it, I think he can win a decision or win by KO. I think if he needs to, he can mix in grappling. But he doesn't really seem to do that. He's primarily a striker. He will have a 5-inch reach advantage as well as a 14-year youth advantage. He's 24 to, Cesar's 38. So I'm going to go Baba Yaga, Damian Pinos out of Aruba by decision. I'm going to say Almeida's pretty durable, but I think this is going to be a clear-cut decision for Pinos. He clearly was the better man. Pinos is better than Almeida. As we move on to the next fight,
he's a better man.
Hold on. But while I already saw the next fight, there's a little coincidence here. Wow. They actually did do it. They actually added Wang and Pinos on the same sentiment on the card. That's fucking wild. UFC.
Yeah.
Anyways,
excellent.
Yeah, I'll kick it off here.
You got it.
I'll kick it off. We all love Tracy Cortez. Come on, bro. Like we all love Tracy Cortez. Great. She hasn't even gotten the belt, and she's already in GOAT conversations in women's MMA. Anyways, I'm going with Kong Wang, unfortunately. I just don't. Guys, it hurts me to say it. It's just I just can't trust it. Like, I think Tracy makes questionable decisions in fights, like the Aaron Blanchfield fight. Tony will show it. She decided to shoot a takedown on Aaron Blanchfield here. She decided to wrestle, and she wasn't doing bad on the fight. Like, in the beginning of the fight, she wasn't doing bad. She was actually doing quite decent on the feet. I don't know why she decided to, like, grapple with her. It's a big-ass mystery that we don't know. I'm going with Kong Wang. I think she's here to win. I like Tracy Cortez. I hope she does pull it off. It's a fight that I really don't care if I get wrong. But I think Kong Wang's gonna get it done. I think she's more motivated to get into the belt, where Tracy, I don't think she really cares anymore. I think she's kind of just been making checks off sponsorships and fucking other things. So I'm gonna go with a Kong Wang decision. I was gonna go with the finish, but it was brought to my attention that Kong Wang doesn't really get that many knockouts like that. So I'm gonna go with the Kong Wang decision here.
Yeah, this is a tough fight on paper. It's also funny. We got, like Mike said, Pinas and then Wang. Only thing we're missing is Yadong. But Kong Wang's a striker. We don't really know much as far as her grappling goes. She's just kind of big for the weight class. She's physical, but I've seen before worse women than her drop her and then submit her. Tracy Cortez is honestly a pretty good grappler, and she would have been the best grappler that she's fought up until this point. Lipsky, she pretty much, or who was it? I know she fought Mora. For some reason, I thought, is that her record? She fought
Yes.
Lipsky?
Yes, this is Kong
Oh,
Wang.
so I do not remember her fighting Lipsky. But I guess that's pretty impressive. But, Bruno Brazil, Lipsky, both strikers. Mora, grappler. I don't think Mora's their level of grappler that Tracy Cortez is. And Tracy Cortez, I know people look at her for the fat ass, oh, she looks good. The Brian Ortega, Alex Pereira, yeah. She's honestly got pretty decent hands, too. Like, I honestly rate her boxing for women's MMA. I think with the wrestling and the boxing, I honestly think she can win this fight. I think Kong Wang, we've seen once that she's a fraud. I feel like she's kind of gotten favorable matchups since she lost against Gabriela Fernandez. She's pretty much just fought strikers since, outside of Mora, who gasses after one round. Tracy Cortez got good cardio. She's got decent boxing. She's got good wrestling. She's beaten good women in the division like Jasmine Jasdavicius and others. Going to the ground against a better grappler than her, and Aaron Blanchfield or someone else, I might fear for her, but that's not Kong Wang. Hot take. I'm going to go Tracy Cortez here. I think she's going to mix in the wrestling. Her boxing is going to look competent. And this ain't kickboxing against Shevchenko. This is the UFC, and we've already seen her lose before against a well-rounded MMA fighter. Give me Tracy Cortez by decision. Maybe even sub, but I'm going to go decision.
Okay. All right. First of all, Tracy Cortez doesn't get the credit she deserves for being a solid fighter because these niggas be horny. But Tracy Cortez is solid. Her hands are solid. Her grappling's pretty good, and she has fought the better competition. And I feel like Kong Wang or Wang Kong, depending on which way you want to say it, she's in the UFC kind of like the Alex Pereira story. She beat Shevchenko in kickboxing, so they're trying to build her up to eventually fight her. But I don't think it goes like the Alex Pereira story. I don't think she's going to get that far, to be real with you. And I really think Tracy Cortez is going to win. Yeah, Wong Kang or Kang. How do we want to say her name? I don't give a fuck, right? Listen, is it reverse? How do we say it?
And probably there it's Wang Kong.
Yeah, because it depends like where you at. It's reverse, but so like Yao Ming Yao. So here's the thing. I can see her outstriking Tracy, but what I really think was going to happen is Tracy's going to be able to box with her for a little bit, mix in the grappling and frustrate her and kind of grind out a decision. and I got Tracy in this. And Tracy Cortez is the slight favorite, -108 right now.
This is a tough fight, guys. This is in the women's flyweight division. It's a clash of styles. I think it's a very black and white fight, very binary in the sense of Tracy Cortez, I think, has all the wrestling upside as well as the cardio upside, as well as MMA experience against higher level competition. And durability, I reckon you could even give an edge towards her. Having, Kong Wang's never been knocked out, but she got dropped by Gabriela Fernandez. So I would give Tracy the advantages in youth, level of competition, cardio, wrestling, things of that variety. Kong Wang, I think, is the better striker. Obviously, you beat Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match. You got to be the better striker, for lack of better words. Her loss to Gabriela Fernandez was very fraudulent looking, to be blunt. She was like a massive favorite, and she got caught on the feet, and then she got subbed. And especially seeing the way Casey O'Neill disposed of Gabriela Fernandez, that loss isn't aging well. She bounced back against Lipsky, but she just recently retired. She beat Eduardo Mora, but I know Tracy Cortez is way more of a fighter, way more grit than Eduardo Mora. Mora just likes to bully girls. If she can't bully them, she sucks. Let's just call it what it is. This is a tough fight because I do think Kong Wang is the better striker, and she has 84% takedown defense. Now, you could argue the girls that she's fighting aren't the level of grappler that a Tracy Cortez is, which I don't hate if you say that. I don't mind it. She trains at Fight Ready with Cejudo. They usually do a pretty good job. It's a really tough fight. I was of the mindset, the striking of Kong Wang can be enough, but she doesn't really get as many knockouts as you would think throughout kickboxing or MMA. She only has the 2 pro wins by KO. Both these girls have a similar knockout rate. Tracy's younger. It's a tough fight. It's either Tracy's getting her takedowns, her output, and her cage riding going, and like Jay said, kind of grinds out a decision, or Kong Wang's getting the leg kicks going. She's displaying the kickboxing. It's a very tough fight. But I think if there isn't an early finish, I feel like the girl with the better gas tank usually prevails in those situations. This is tough because I picked Tracy Cortez in her last fight against Erin Blanchfield, and she made a really bad fight IQ decision grappling with Erin Blanchfield. But if she's willing to shoot a takedown on a girl like Blanchfield with as much danger on the feet, on the ground as she possesses, then I have to think she's going to shoot a takedown here against Kong Wang, who's the better striker. I was going into this thinking Kong Wang, the takedown defense, the striking, but she's not as much of a finisher as I thought. So this fight probably goes the distance, and now it comes down to, do we value the point fighting style striking of Kong Wang, or do we value control time, takedown attempts, and volume from Tracy? This is really tough. It's a literal coin flip. I could see a case either way, but I'm going to switch my pick, I guess. I think I've been talked into Tracy Cortez. I just feel like all the wrestling upsides with her, durability, about level. If Kong Wang doesn't take her head off, she's going to be dealing with a lot of takedown attempts. It's a tough fight, but I guess I'll go Tracy Cortez by decision ever so slightly, just because of the grappling upside. As we move on to the featherweight division, where we have Kai Kamaka III in his second UFC stint going up against undefeated Luke Riley. I will let Mike take the wheel, as he has been doing so far.
All right. Yeah, I got Luke Riley, man. I like Luke Riley. His last fight wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. I think his last opponent was not bad. For him to be a 13-0 young up and comer, he's doing really good, man. I think he's going to improve when time goes on, and I don't think Kai Kamaka is going to be the guy to take Luke Riley's O. I think I'm going to go with a Luke Riley. I'll go second round KO. I'm going to go with a second round finish for Luke Riley. I think Luke Riley can do it, man. I don't know. I'm not really high on Kai Kamaka. I don't think he's going to be the guy to take Luke Riley's O.
Yeah, this will be an easy fight for Luke Riley. I guarantee that. Kai Kamaka, one here one day, gone the next. Now he's back again. PFL can crusher. When he was in the UFC, he was getting TKO'd by Jonathan Pierce. He's really not bad, but he's certainly not good. He's not a wrestler. He kind of just has like shitty boxing and shitty kickboxing and like shitty wrestling that takes him to split decision wins. But Luke Riley, I don't think he's going to be able to really dominantly out-grapple Luke Riley. I honestly think they're more close in grappling ability than like even Bogdan Grad and him, where I think it's going to be kind of like the Michael Aswell fight with a worse boxing Michael Aswell. I get the Michael Aswell fight didn't age well because Michael Aswell just lost to fucking Dollar General Ilya Taporia. But, shit happens. I still think Luke Riley is a really good striker. And when he lets it go, he's really one of the best strikers in the division. I think he could KO Kai Kamaka. But looking back at the Aswell fight, I think Kai Kamaka's got a well-rounded enough approach to kind of give Luke Riley some problems to the point where it's probably going to be late if there is a finish or maybe a decision. I'm probably going to go decision. I still think Luke Riley needs to get his wrestling better before he really makes a run at the rankings. Kai Kamaka's experienced, but he's really just kind of a fucking bum. I think Luke Riley will work all three levels and it'll be a pretty solid 30-27 unanimous decision, but I don't think it'll be a finish, unfortunately. But yeah, Kai Kamaka really just shouldn't even be back. And he should have lost the Dakota Hope fight. And now he's supposed to win against Luke Riley? I don't think so. Luke Riley, 30-27.
Okay. Make it short and sweet, man. Luke Riley, unanimous decision. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, clean sweep here. I'm a little vengeful. I picked Dakota Hope in that fight against Kai Kamaka. I think it was a split, if I'm not mistaken. I felt like he did enough to get his hand raised, but that's besides the point. This is Kai Kamaka's second stint. He's been in PFL, like Alex mentioned. He goes to close fights. That's pretty much like his claim to fame. He just goes to close fights. He fights to thin margins, whether he wins or loses. I guess fairly durable to an extent. Only been knocked out 2 times in 26 pro fights. Never been subbed. Luke Riley's not going for grappling. He's trying to stand with you and trying to knock you out. It's just a matter of, is it either a Luke Riley KO or decision? I think that's the question. I could see what Alex is saying as far as the decision 30-27 and Jay as well, but I could also see what Mike's saying. I think if JSP can knock you out, I feel like Luke Riley, if he hits you the right way, can knock you out. And his only other loss was an injury TKO to think an Atividad. It's decision or KO. He's Hawaiian. They're usually tough. He's only really been knocked out the real one time. I just kind of feel like he hits harder than JSP, honestly. I kind of want to go Luke Riley KO. I kind of want to do that. Let me see. Luke Riley gets KOs in what round? Second, third, second. Yeah, I just feel like this is like Alex said, an easy fight. I think Kamaka's hittable. Like, he moves around and tries to do a bunch of shit, but I just think it's going to be to no avail. And like I said, I think I agree what he said too. I think Bogdan Grad's a better grappler than fucking Kai Kamaka. Yeah, I'll be bold. I'm going to go. Mike, what round did you go?
Second.
Second. You went second? I'll go third just because I think he's a bit tougher than Bogdan Grad. I'll go third round TKO, Luke Riley, where it's arguably 30-27, and he just did it just to do it. So third round TKO to a exhausted Kai Kamaka from taking a beating. As we move on to the bantamweight division, where we have former champion Cody No Love Garbrandt, 15-7, going up against Adrian Yanez, 17-6-1. Mike, take it away.
There ain't no biasness into this pick, but I do think Cody's gonna get fudrucked by Adrian. I don't think Cody's got it no more, man. Cody's coming off the worst performance of his career, while Adrian is coming off probably one of the best performances in his career. Like, Adrian, if you watch the fight, he won the fight. Like, there's no way that fight with Ricky Simone was a draw. Like, I thought that was probably the best Adrian Yanez we've gotten in the UFC for a minute. Like, he was tagging him up. His boxing looked improved. His defense looked a little improved. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's there to be a champ the next fight, but I don't think he's that improved. But I think he looked good, and I think this is a good fight for him to get his confidence boost up after a rough head-on collisions. Lost to Rob Font, lost to Jonathan Martinez, lost to Marcos. Even though I thought he won the Marcos fight too. I'm gonna go with a late first, maybe an early second round KO for Adrian Yanez. I think he's just the better boxer. Cody hasn't really shown me that he's still got it, man. Like I think Cody Garbrandt's done.
Yeah, I do agree with what Mike said about Cody Garbrandt being done. It feels like he should have been done 5 years ago, like before the Asuncao fight, like in 2019, after he lost like 3 in a row and he got knocked out in all of them and had no chin. But he's still here somehow. He did reinvent himself to some degree. He still didn't like keep his hands by his face or start blocking or use head movement again or anything like that. It's all just footwork, and it leads to a very boring fight because he just backs up and circles the cage the whole time. A very big far cry from the Garbrandt that sat in the pocket and traded with Munoz and fucking just kept dropping each other. But that's the version of Cody we're getting. Going by his last fight, this is a pretty damn good version of Yanez. He seems to have gotten his confidence back. He really went for it in the Ricky Simone fight. He should have won that fight despite it being a draw. He seemed to be a little bit more careful as far as just going into the pocket with his chin up as well. So I think, he seemed decent footwork wise as well. That was always a big critique I had for Yanez, is he kind of just sits there and throws a jab out. And when he gets into the pocket, he just starts throwing like 4 hooks and gets clipped as well. But he looked a little bit more elusive in that Simone fight, in and out. He was faster to realize his opponent was hurt, and he had finishing instincts. And if you hurt Cody, you can finish him. I think if Kai Kara France can beat like a flyweight Cody, Yanez should be able to beat a 35, 36-year-old Cody. So I am going to pick Yanez. I'm going to pick him by TKO. I could see him having a little bit of success, difficulty tracking down Cody in the first round just because of the footwork and the how hard Cody avoids a fight. Let's be honest. But I think eventually he'll track him down and he'll tag him with something, hurt him, and then he'll finish him with body shots and headshots, just ripping a combo on him. I'm going to go Adrian Yanez, second round TKO. It's about time Cody Garbrandt low-key got out of the fucking sport. You're not the same Cody. You're a boring fighter. Get him out of here.
I'm going Cody. And he's a plus 310 underdog right now, too. And listen to me. Cody may be a far cry from what he used to be. I still think Cody got a knockout chance. I think I got Cody by second round knockout. I know Cody has been fighting on the outside.
You don't believe that? Come on now.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Picking him.
Oh, no. I believe it's a 50-50 fight.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Come on, man. I'm also the same person who named his My Player No Love in 2K16 after Cody. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, all right? Take it. With that being said, I'm going Cody. He going to catch him with something. I'm not going to lie. I think Cody going to be on the outside, right? Because Cody has fought more on the outside and more reluctant now because he don't want to get knocked out and he's older, right? But I feel like he's going to catch Adrian or something, and then he's going to get his confidence, which could be hit or miss because he's going to get in there and go Cody Garbrandt. But listen, I'm rolling the dice, Tony. We going Cody Garbrandt, man. Cody No Love Garbrandt for the win, man. We back in 2016 again.
I respect the shit out of that pick. I respect it. This is a good fight here, man. This is a good one. Former champion of the world, Cody Garbrandt. I will give him his props in terms of he has fought elite competition throughout his career. Even going back to like when he fought Thomas Almeida. I know Thomas Almeida. We only look at him now because of what Sean O'Malley did to him. But there was a point in time that guy was 21-0, like undefeated. He was a contender. Then we all know the Dominic Cruz performance. Statistically, that fight was a lot closer than people remember, but nonetheless, that was an iconic moment in Cody's career. That was his crescendo, if you will. Then he ran into 3 straight hooks from TJ Dillashaw, and then he got messed up in the rematch.
Don't remind me of that.
Yep. Then he ran into Pedro Munoz, but then he got that dope feel-good moment Alex was talking about over Rafael Assunção during COVID time. That shit was epic. Then he went the distance with Rob Font. Bad decision going to flyweight against Kai Kara France. He was depleted, and he ran into a knockout artist to flyweight. Not a great pick. And then, he racked up some wins, but, look who his last couple wins are. It's Trevin Jones, Brian Kelleher. There was a time not too long ago where I picked Brian Kelleher, Long Xiao. But did he really win the Long Xiao fight? We as a channel all collectively picked Garbrandt, and I think we could all unanimously agree we got blessed in that one. If it isn't for Long Xiao being dumb as shit, getting multiple fouls, he wins that fight. Nonetheless, Garbrandt got his hand raised there. I do fear he is not getting his hand raised here. I think this is a big moment for Adrian Yanez. This is a nice name to have on his resume, a former champion. I just feel like Cody don't really want to fight for real no more. He doesn't really trade. I mean, obviously, he's like Jay saying, he's fighting more smarter, more defensively sound, which the older he's getting, I don't mind. He had so many exciting fights on his come up. He can afford for some boring wins. I think I agree with what Alex was saying, that it's going to be hard for Yanez to track down Garbrandt early. Garbrandt doesn't want to fucking fight anymore like he used to. He wants to be on the outside, try to establish some form of leg kicks or a takedown threat. He's been trying to mix in lately, but I can't really recall of a time Yanez got dominated with wrestling. If I am Garbrandt's camp, I would recommend leg kicks and wrestling in this fight, as well as trying to establish a jab. The only 2 times Yanez has been knocked out was Martinez and Rob Font, and they had a jab and a leg kick. Garbrandt doesn't really use that. I would recommend him to try it here, but ultimately I think it will be to no avail. I'm going to go Adrian Yanez by knockout. I'm just torn between round 2 and 3 because I do think Garbrandt's best round will be round 1, and even if he's not doing good, he'll just be kind of skirting on the outside and not letting Yanez get his close his distance. It's second or third round. Let me see how many knockouts he has in each round. Second, first. I'll go second. I'll go second round TKO Adrian Yanez. I just think Garbrandt's here for a check, to be blunt. I think he got lucky with his last win. I don't think Yanez is going to leave this scorecards or luck. I think he's going to take this shit. So I'm going to go second round TKO Yanez. I can see body shots. Should be a good one. As we move on to the heavyweight division with the UFC debut of Gable Stevenson, undefeated 3-0, going up against Elisha Ellison 5-2. Mike, feel free to kick us off.
I think we're going to get a witness of some controversial things that Gable Stevenson had in his past. I think this is going to be give me Gable Stevenson via no means yes type of scenario, if you know what I'm saying. Elisha Ellison, I'm not really impressed with. I do think in the future I will probably pick against Gable Stevenson. I've done a lot of tape on his fights. His striking looks mid, but the thing with heavyweight is you could get away with having a bit mid striking levels. I think what's going to carry him is the wrestling, athleticism as well. I don't think he's going to get blobbed out in fights at all. But I hope they give him cans, because the thing is, if they boost him up with okay, here we go, you get Elisha Allison, and then after that, we'll give you Waldo. If he low key, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would pick Waldo to beat Gable Stevenson. Just off of what I've seen defensively from Gable Stevenson on his boxing, and from interviews that I've heard from people that either trained Gable Stevenson or coaches that have heard from camps, they said Gable Stevenson don't like getting hit. He'll quit sparring sessions because he's getting hit a lot. I don't like hearing about that, but I don't think Elisha Ellison will be the one to do it. I'm gonna go with the first round I'm gonna go with a first round KO where he knocks the dude out and then goes for the extra shots, or maybe I'll go with the ground and pound TKO where he just takes the dude down and just starts laying him out with elbows. So I'll go with the ground and pound TKO for Gable Stevenson, first round.
Yeah, Gable Stevenson is the biggest. I heard he's the biggest favorite in UFC history at like minus 4,000. Alicia Ellison, to be fair to him, the only UFC loss he has is Brando Pericic, who's a ranked UFC heavyweight and who's pretty athletic and good in his own right. He did get choked early in his career by a guy, I guess. I don't know who he is. But honestly, I don't think he's that bad. That being said, Gable Stevenson has such an extensive wrestling background. He's got some hands. He's extremely aggressive and powerful. You expect him to win. That being said, I could see like some stupid shit happening. I could see like Nick Klein, Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Nick Klein throws a spinning elbow, hurts Abdul Razak Al Hassan. You're like, oh shit! Like why the fuck did that happen? Like I could see Alicia Ellison throwing like a Derek Lewis jumping switch kick and it fucking like rocks Gable. Everybody's like, oh, like, there's a moment to that, but Gable's he should win. He should win against this level of competition. He should win. Like Mike said, eventually there more than likely will come a day where he's like beats fucking like Alicia Ellison, like Chris Barnett and Martian Tybura. And they're like, yeah, give him fucking Curtis Blades. Then he loses that or something like that. Or like they give him Waldo. He loses that. I could see that happening, but at this level, there's a reason he's such a big favorite. The bookies aren't fucking retarded. They've pretty much locked you out of making money in this. There's no reason you should even parlay this. It's such a big fucking favorite. So to the bookmakers, it's even a sure thing. They want nobody to make money whatsoever. So I think Gable Stevenson first round finish is definitely the move. I could see it being a KO or a submission. I think it'll be a KO. I think he's just going to give Alicia Ellison no respect. Like this is a motherfucker with ego. He's going to get in your face and just think he's immediately better and he can bulldoze you. And a lot of these guys early, I honestly think he probably can. So I think Gable Stevenson, by rushing forward, Vitor Belfort versus Vanderlei Silva, just running forward punches TKO. He'll fuck him up just based on athleticism.
Yeah, I got Gable. He's making his debut. I got him by ground and pound TKO, and I don't think they're going to feed him anyone crazy anytime soon. He's very new, not even in the UFC, just besides wrestling, right? Like just using his hands. He's still very new in combat sports. So I think the UFC is going to look at him like he could be something, and they're going to slowly work him up the ranks. Like I don't think he's going to fight a ranked opponent this year. To be real with you, I think he's going to, after this fight, he's going to fight a nigga we've never heard of. I'm talking about they're going to find somebody. Some random heavy nigga they're going to find for him to fight because they know what they have in Gable, that he could be something with the wrestling background. And having a wrestling background, not even the most important thing in heavyweight. The most important thing in heavyweight is being athletic because most of the people at heavyweight are fat, slow, with an overhand. Right? They're very flat-footed. So every time it's an athletic fighter or a really good athlete, a heavyweight, he looks miles ahead, like so much better than the other guys. So yeah, I got Gable Stevenson though.
Yeah, this is a clean sweep. Alex made a great point too. Like the bookies have made it where you cannot make money in this fight, so therefore I will be bold. I think Gable Stevenson is going to win this fight in 2 minutes or less. I think this is not a heavyweight he's fighting. I think he's fighting a middleweight, to be frank. Alicia Ellison is like 6 feet, 78-inch reach. If you look at his build, like he just does not look like an actual heavyweight. Now, Gable's not the tallest guy. He's 6'1", but as you can see from his profile picture, he fits the build of a heavyweight. He's just big. Training at Jackson Wink. John Jones has taken him as his protege. But aside from that, arguably, all things considered, the most established, credentialed heavyweight NCAA collegiate wrestler of this generation. I thought he was just a guy in NCAA. Nah, he has a ridiculous amount of accolades and achievements in NCAA. I think the grappling gap is immense. I just think he's going to bully this guy. I think Elisa Ellison is a middleweight cosplaying at heavyweight. I'm going to go first round TKO. I think he just takes him down and he just mauls him, and the ref's going to have to pry him off. I see this fight ending between a minute to 2 minutes. If there's plus money in that, I would maybe look like that. I get like Julius Walker, Abdul Yakyayev vibes from this fight. I think this is going to be quick, 2 minutes or less. As we head to the next fight of the evening, it is the prelim headliner, former middleweight champion of the world, Robert the Reaper Whittaker, 26-9, representing Australia, going up against Nikita Krylov, 31-11, representing Ukraine. Mike, take it away.
This is a tough fight, in my opinion. I think Robert Whittaker is I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker via lighter man skill, mainly because, I don't know, Nikita Krylov hasn't really impressed me in his recent performances. His last fight with Modestas Bukauskas was competitive a little bit. It was a bit competitive, but the thing is, Modestas Bukauskas is retarded. It's just how I see it. Losing to Bogdan isn't bad. Dominic Reyes, that loss is not aging well in hindsight, but it's Dominic Reyes. Yeah, you beat Ryan Spann. Who hasn't, little bro? Vulcan's not a bad win. Gustafson, that's 100 years old. Congratulations. I'm not impressed by any of these wins. Losing to Paul Craig is horrible. Losing to some of those names, I'll give him that. Losing to Ankalaev, former champ. Teixeira, former champ. Getting arm triangled by fucking Jan is bad, though. I can't lie. That is not a good look. But some of these wins are just mid. I think Robert Whittaker is just levels above Nikita Krylov. I'm going to go with a 29-28. Maybe Robert he'll get wobbled a little bit in the beginning of the first round, and then he'll come back in the second and third via lighter man skill. I just think he's better. I think he's just a better fighter. I could see him getting chinned because he is a lighter man and Nikita is bigger, but I don't know. Something's telling me a Robert Whittaker masterclass 29-28 decision's coming.
Okay. Oh. Hey, I don't know. I want to say Robert Whittaker. Because Robert Whittaker has fought the more skilled guys. He's fought in the lighter division, but I'm concerned about his durability. Maybe his durability is better now that he's cutting not as much weight, but he also has miles on that body. Pause. He also got miles on him, but that's tough. And Nikita Krylov, out of his 42 fights, only 4 of them went to decision. So I'm scared for Robert. With that being said, I think Robert's speed is going to be too much. I do have concerns, like I said, with durability, of course, but I think Robert's going to look rejuvenated. He's in a new weight class, and I'm picking the Reaper for the win, and I do not believe he need to be on the motherfucking prelims. I believe Robert Whittaker got to be a little higher up the card.
Yeah, I do believe in this fight, Robert Whittaker moving up to light heavyweight always worried me because I don't really feel like he's built for it. Against certain guys who really much are, like Yuri, Pereira at the time, even Olberg, guys who are much taller. Even when he was a middleweight, I was thinking Whittaker's one of the smaller middleweights. But a big advantage of being smaller is usually you have more skill. Usually you're faster on your feet. Usually you have a healthier weight cut as long as you don't get fat. And I think, everything I've seen makes me think Whittaker's done it the right way. He didn't really gain a whole bunch of fat or anything like that. It's more about not cutting too much weight and adding just more muscle. I think he'll be fast. He's a much better striker. The only person to really out-grapple Whittaker ever was Hamzat. I don't think Krylov is on that level. I don't think anybody at light heavyweight is on that level of grappling. I think Whittaker is going to look like the lighter man's skill, takedown defense, faster striking, and just kind of piece apart Krylov for 3 rounds. I think the kicks are going to be a huge advantage. And unless Krylov somehow flukes him with like a extending hook that he steps into or something like that, I think Whitaker will dance on him for 3 rounds. So I'm going to go Robert Whitaker, unanimous decision, just working all 3 levels, bringing the jab out, the oblique kick, the teeps, and just keeping this fight where he wants it for 3 rounds and just scoring the whole time. Robert Whitaker, 30-27.
Prelim headliner of the evening, the light heavyweight debut of the former middleweight champion, Robert the Reaper Whitaker. Both these guys are very experienced in MMA. Both these guys are 35-plus pro fights. Robert Whitaker's been at the highest of highs. He's fought in the welterweight division. This will be his 3rd division he's competed in at a UFC level. That speaks to his longevity. That speaks to how impressive he has had of a career, despite legitimate injury concerns throughout his middleweight title reign. Like, there were legit concerns. Like, is this guy gonna be okay? Like, he can't seem to be healthy. You look at his losses though. It's prime Israel Adesanya. It's twice. 3 times? No, twice. RDR, Hamzat, Wonder Boy, Court McGee, but it was early. I think it was a split decision. Arguably could have won it. Some guy on the regional scene, but the main ones I want to look at are Wonder Boy, Israel. Range has been a prop. GDP. These are like the guys giving problems. RDR. You have to have physicality. Israel, you wouldn't necessarily call him the most physical fighter ever, but he just had a legitimate physical advantage over Whitaker. He was taller.
Your height, reach.
Right. He's just physically bigger than him and longer than him. That's an advantage. DDP was bigger than Whitaker, it felt like.
He was.
RDR was very much visibly bigger than Whitaker. Size does seem to give him problems. Wonder Boy isn't necessarily physical, but he was just similar reach, about similar frame.
Boy, he was piecing him up.
Yeah, he just was beating the shit out of him with the range. Like, he could not miss on Whitaker. I don't think Krylov is the caliber of strikers that these guys are. I will admit that. DDP, Wonder Boy, Israel, all those guys I think are better strikers. Krylov is dangerous, though. A great point Jay made. Out of 42 pro fights, only been a decision 4 times. This is a guy who is kill or be killed. He lives by the sword and dies by it. I do agree with what Alex said. I don't see Krylov really having grappling success sustained against Robert Whitaker. I think RDR is a better grappler, and I think Hamzat Chimaev is a better grappler. That being said, I don't think conventional grappling would be effective against Whitaker, but maybe some clinch, knees to the body, try to weigh on him. It's a tough fight because I do think Robert Whitaker is the better fighter, but like I said, physicality has been legitimate problems for him. They can kind of take away his skill, his footwork, and things like that. Outside of Ikram Aliskerov, he's really not a knockout artist. So if you pick Whitaker, I think you're kind of thinking decision or KO. I don't really see him employing like a real grappling heavy game plan against Krylov. Krylov needs to engage, needs to force a fight, needs to make it ugly, needs to weigh on him. It's a really interesting fight. I'm torn because I do think Whitaker is skilled. Durability, it's about level. Both these guys have only been knocked out like 3 times each in like 35-plus pro fights. Whitaker's getting knocked out by DDP, Izzy, Wonder Boy. Krylov's getting knocked out by like a 6'4" Samoan early in his UFC career. Bogdan Guskov and Dominic Reyes. So power does give these guys problems, but I hate to be that guy. I'm going to spoil the light heavyweight debut of Robert Whitaker. I think the Reaper is going to get laughed at in the face of death. I think Nikita Krylov's physicality is going to present problems in this fight. I do understand Whitaker is a better striker, probably a better wrestler, honestly, too. I wouldn't be surprised if he mixes in takedowns, honestly. I think he could maybe even try to wrestle in this fight. But I think the danger that Krylov presents in the striking, BJJ exchanges, if there is any, I just don't see Whitaker chinning him, but I could see Krylov chinning him. I think this is going to be a fantastic fight for as long as it lasts. I'm going to go in a firefight. He won by 3rd round TKO in his last time. I picked him against Modestas. I'm going to pick him to win by the same way he won his last fight. I'm going to go 3rd round TKO Nikita Krylov in an absolute banger where Robert Whitaker is arguably up 2-0, but Krylov just pushes the pace, raises the tempo, and he ultimately finds Whitaker and just finds him in the third. I'm gonna go third round TKO Nikita Krylov in a banger as we head to the main card opener. Got muted there for a second. Let's see, and we have Bobby Green going up against Terrence McKinney in this one. Mike, feel free to kick us off.
Honestly, this is a fight where it's kind of hard to predict. Bobby Green is really he can get caught, he can get finished. But my God, bro, Terrence McKinney, if he does not knock you out or sub you in time, he's gonna gas out and he gets shitted on. Like, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Bobby Green masterclass here. I think Bobby survives. I think there could be a moment where Terrence, like, drops him badly. It looks like, oh, Bobby Green's going to die, and then Terrence just starts getting tired after trying to wing on Bobby. And then Bobby just catches him later on. Lately, Bobby's been catching people. He's been finishing people a lot lately. I'll go with a late... I'm going to go with late first, maybe early second Bobby Green. I don't know. Something's telling me. I think Terrence McKinney is going to get cooked, man. Like, I could so see Bobby Green. I could so see Bobby Green out like, working him, too. Because, like, Terrence's shots are very sloppy. Like, he doesn't have any, like, functioning, like, combos. Like, his combos are kind of just, like, wing... He kind of fights like that one dude at a public school into the bathroom. Like he's trying to take your head off. He's trying to go wah 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 wah. He's that dude that pulls up his jeans and tries to swing at you heavy, trying to go for the KO blow. Like I think that's what I see of Terrence McKinney. I'm going with the Bobby Green KO where he just tries to be like, "What's up? What's up?" And then he'll probably get hit with one shot and he'll just be like, I shoulder rolled it. Like he'll do with that signature shit, man. I'm gonna go with Bobby Green. I am nervous just because he doesn't have his hands up when he fights. That could get him laid out here, but Terrence McKinney I don't really see him doing anything right now. He kind of loses to competition like Bobby Green's and stuff. So I'm gonna go with late finish. Late first round, early second for Bobby Green. KO. TKO.
Yeah, this is a tough fight just because you know what happens if Terrence McKinney leaves the first round, and if it doesn't leave the first round, you probably know who won. Terrence McKinney wins early. If he doesn't win early, the other guy wins. That's just been the history of his fight. That being said, Bobby Green's looked extremely good lately, KOing people, getting even submissions. Terrence McKinney, he's going to come forward. And, you know, a lot of people, they kind of indulge Terrence McKinney because they know they can probably chin him. And that gives McKinney a chance early to do what he usually does, which is give it a hard fight before he loses or win in that half a round. I do think Bobby Green, though, is one of those guys that could keep it at a little bit of a longer range, kind of how Bonfim did in their fight. Fight at a little bit longer range, let McKinney throw his big strikes and whiff, and then capitalize. Bobby Green does his best work at range with the oblique kicks, with the jabs, the straights, with the shoulder rolls. And I could see him kind of just fighting at that range and making McKinney miss. You know, I get that McKinney puts people in those situations, but he doesn't put everybody in that situation. He didn't put Bonfim in that situation. He didn't put Nazim Sadikov in that situation. These are guys that kind of like to fight on the back foot and use their kickboxing, use their hands at a longer reach. Not to say that those guys are even anywhere as good as Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green beats Bonfim and Sadikov. So I'm going to go Bobby Green, keeping the distance with the oblique kicks, the jabs, and eventually after, however long it takes, he won't be the same fighter. He'll gas out, and Bobby Green will get a TKO victory. I'm going to say end of the first round, Bobby Green gets the hands going and TKOs Terrence McKinney.
Okay, so I guess we're all picking, damn near all of us is picking Bobby Green in this, or King Green, because, of course, Terrence McKinney's exciting. It's kill or be killed with him. I just think he lunges in too much and he's gonna run into something. Run into a lot of stuff actually. I think he's gonna walk into punches. And with that being said, I also like the bad blood between them. Like Bobby Green feeling like that's my homie. Like, bro, you're not supposed to fight me. You the homie. Like, you think I'm a bitch ass nigga or something? That's the way he's feeling right now. He's feeling some type of way. I can't even blame him. Cause damn, we was just hanging out, bro. Whole time you wanted to fight me. Like he's saying, the UFC called me. He said the UFC called him for that fight. Whole time he called the UFC for that fight. He was asking for that fight. But yeah, I feel like Bobby Green feel a type of way right now, and he's going to put hands on Terrence McKinney. But it could go the other way because you know how Terrence McKinney fight go. I just think he's going to run into shit though. Like I think he's going to walk into shots. Like he's just going to overswing, get pieced up, get put out. I say late first round, Bobby King Green.
Main card opener. And I think for them to put this as the main card opener over Robert Whittaker, I think the expectation is this should deliver. Terrence McKinney, regardless of your stance on him, he usually delivers in all of his fights. In 26 pro fights, he's never been the distance. He's the definition of killer be killed, as Jay said. I think I am going to make this a clean sweep, Bobby Green, though. And the reason being is that, yes, in the first round, Terrence McKinney, in theory, is capable of doing a lot of things. He could sub Faris Siam. He can almost knock out Drew Dober. He can knock out Matt Frivola. Like, he could do things that throughout the duration of a 15-minute bout, you would not pick him to do. But in those first 3 to 5 minutes, he is dynamic as you can be. That being said, I just think this is a dynamic youth versus veteran experience. For what it's worth, Bobby Green is a relic of the lightweight division. He is 39 years old. This dude has fought, what is this now? 30 UFC fights. This is his 31st UFC fight coming up. This guy has been through the ringer. You look at his losses, his last 5. Let's just look at his last 5 to be blunt. Rufy by heel kick. Pimlet subbed him. Jalen Turner caught him. Drew Dober caught him. We know why. Islam Makhachev destroyed him. All right? So, former champ, top 3, top 5 knockout artist, lightweight history. Significant reach and height advantage, Jalen Turner. Paddy Pimlet, good fighter. And Mauricio Rufy, probably top 5 striker at lightweight right now. Okay? Terrence McKinney is dangerous. He can wrestle. He can knock you out, but it really does feel like it's like 3 minutes, bro. After that, I feel like there's a significant drop-off in his danger. And, yeah. I'm going to go second round, though. I just feel like it would be very much in Bobby Green's best interest to almost just straight up run away the first 3 minutes. Like, don't even fucking engage with Terrence McKinney. Just literally circle around for 3-5 minutes. Don't even, like, try to touch him. Literally just waste time. And then by that second round, I think McKinney is just going to literally be tired from moving around and whiffing a lot. I'm going to go Bobby Green, second round TKO. The counters, better range fighting, like Alex said. Jab, 1-2, you name it. And like I said, his last 5 wins, I mean, it speaks for themselves. The level of competition, the experience, it should show itself here. Second round TKO, Bobby Green. As we head to the next bout in the flyweight division, where we have Brandon Raw Dog Royval, 17-9, going up against Loner Kavanaugh, 10-1. Mike, you know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, as y'all know, I'm very critical on Brandon Royval. I think he's a soy little bitch. I think what's carrying him is his name. I think what really helped Brandon Royval in his career was just being tall and lankier. I want to say that I would say like people are now starting to find like chinks in his armor, but to be honest with you, it should have been found already. Bro literally starts combos with his chin up in the air. Horrible. He's literally a flyweight Nate Diaz, if you really think about it. Starts off with no defense, eats shots to give him. He just tries to find... The one thing difference between him and Nate Diaz, he tries to find some crazy shit to knock you out with. I don't think Loner's gonna run into anything. Like I think Loner's gonna fight a very calm defensive style. I really loved the Loner Kavanaugh we saw against Brandon Moreno. Short notice too, by the way. That was a very impressive performance, man. There was moments where I was like, damn, like I know Brandon Moreno is like on the washed side now, but like he was hitting him with shots like we've never seen. Like there were shots that I've seen normally Brandon Moreno would eat him, right? Like he's never really been hurt before. Like I mean, we've seen him hurt, but like we've never seen him like, oh my gosh, he's about to get finished. There were moments in the fight where Loner was just fucking piecing him up and just having Moreno wobble him. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm going with Loner Kavanaugh via second round KO. I think Brandon Royval has taken way too much punishment in his fights. Not too long ago, he was coming off two bad concussions. Like he kept crying and bitching about it, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But honestly, as all of his fights came on, I think those concussions like really affected him. He wasn't able to take shots well. I'm gonna go with a Loner Kavanaugh second round KO where he starts moving in, catching Royval coming in, and one of the shots are gonna put the nail in the coffin on Royval. I think Loner is I think Loner's the truth, man.
Yeah, this is a interesting fight in the flyweight division. I feel like it's a test to Loner Kavanaugh to see if he's really like that after the Moreno fight, or if it's just that Moreno's washed. But I do think Loner Kavanaugh is really like that. Charles Johnson just got a thing about him. It's a Johnson thing. Michael Johnson, Charles Johnson, they can beat or lose to anybody in any day, depending on the day. I do think Loner Kavanaugh, though, is still a really good striker. He's a really good fighter for the division, whereas I feel like Royval's kind of ran his course. He's already lost to Pantoja twice. He's, been chinned by Manel Kopp. I think he honestly does his worst against guys that are more technical and better strikers than he is. He doesn't have the offensive grappling to put like Loner Kavanaugh in any grappling position that would make him lose. I think Loner Kavanaugh is the better striker, and this is going to be a striking fight. He's more powerful as well. He's younger. I like the way he enters the pocket and exits the pocket. He always like sets a trap for the opponent, usually catching him with like a left hook or a like slip hook of some kind. I really like the hands and the low kicks of Loner Kavanaugh. I think Royval, like Mike said, he kind of fights like a flyweight Nate Diaz, just long and rangy, no real power. He's got to hit you with like a flying knee or a knee to the fucking face or a spinning elbow to do any real damage. And I think Loner Kavanaugh's got him. I'm going to say Loner Kavanaugh. Fuck it. KO, second round. I think Loner Kavanaugh's got the power to knock out Royval. I think his chin's cracked. So, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Royval is crazy because I know Mike hate him. I don't hate Brandon Royval. Like, I kind of like Brandon Royval. With that being said, he's not going to win this fight, to be real with you, because I feel like Brandon Royval benefits from a 5-round fight where he can drown you. And then also he's getting older now. They're using him as a gatekeeper for the young fighters. Like when he got beat up by Joshua Van, just contenders like Manel Cap put him on his back pockets. Like at this point in Brandon Royval's career, he's just a name, like a good name for an up and coming fighter. So this is going to be another good name on Loner's Kavanaugh resume right here. And I think Loner is going to give him hell. Like I don't think Brandon Royval has the ability to hurt Loner, but like he can make it competitive. It's just a good test for a young fighter at this point in his career.
Interesting fight here in the flyweight division between Brandon Royval, former title challenger, and rising contender Loner Kavanaugh. I think I'm going to go with Loner Kavanaugh as well in this one, though. I just feel like Royval, not even his last three, his last two fights, man, like he has been through the ringer, really. Honestly, his last three fights have been dog fights, whether he wins or loses. The Tatsuro Taira fight, That was very competitive. It was a split. Joshua Van fight was historic, amazing. Probably one of, if not the greatest 3-round flyweight fight ever, where they both set significant strike records. Took a beating in that one, and then he just got flashed by Manel Cap. I just think Loner Kavanaugh is catching him at the ideal prime time, honestly. Like, you are getting him off of wars and getting first round finished. Royval's game to me is wild, volume, output, endurance. The longer the fight goes, he just drowns you. This being a 15-minute fight, I think is huge for Loner. And like Mike said, I really do rate his last performance against Brandon Moreno, who I actually do think is more durable career than Royval. I do think Moreno's tougher than Royval. For him to be able to go in his first main event in elevation in Mexico after getting knocked out by Charles Johnson that's amazing. He answered a lot of questions in that fight. Granted, like towards the latter end of the fight, like the last 2 rounds, Moreno was just kind of grappling like up against the fence and not really engaging, kind of just like holding on. I just feel like Royval, if he gets hit with those same shots, he ain't gonna be able to make it to like the bell. So I'm gonna go second round TKO Loner Kavanaugh. I just feel like this is a fight where Royval's size and reach, which usually is an advantage for him in fights, is going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight. I just think he's a bigger, longer target for Loner Kavanaugh to beat up like a pinata. I think kicks to the head, body, and legs are going to be open. I think slip counters in the boxing exchanges will present itself. Royval takes a lot of risks and a lot of chances. Even though he is coming off of the first round knockout loss, I do not expect him to change his game. Brandon Royval is high output, high volume. He is not like a technical sit back on the outside type of fighter. That is not his game. I expect him to fight like how he always does, even despite the damage he has sustained in his last 3 fights. As we head to the feature fight of the evening in our first of 2 rematches on this main card, Corey, the Sandman Sanhagen, 18-6, going up against Mario Batista, 17-3. Mike, you know what to do.
Alrighty, here we go. I've been seeing a lot of people pick Corey Sandhagen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really. I watched some tape, man. Corey Sandhagen defensively isn't that good. Like, he's been getting caught with some crazy shit. And I think he's going to get caught in this fight. I'm going with Mario Batista. I'm going to take the dog shot here. I'm going with Mario Batista. I did not like the Merab fight. The Merab fight is what's making me not like this. He made fucking Merab look like Canelo out there. Like, bro is fucking piecing him up on the feet. I did not like that. I think Mario Batista's improved. Also, I rewatched the first fight on some tape. I'm not going to lie. Before the armbar, it was quite competitive on the feet. Mario Batista was making it competitive on the feet. I think Mario's good, man. I know I've shitted on him. I'm a huge Jose Aldo fan, so I was very mad about that fight. I still think Jose won, but that's a different story. He's been impressing me, man. I think Mario Batista's good. Impressed me in the Vinicius fight. Even impressed me in the Umar fight when he almost knocked Umar out. Like, I think Mario Batista is starting to make a name for himself. I think I'm gonna go with a 29-28 decision. Corey's probably gonna win the first round. Then the second round, I think he's gonna probably like win in the beginning, but then when it hits the middle, I think Mario's gonna land some damaging shots on Corey. And I think the third round, he just starts winning off damage. I think Corey is not as good as we thought. I'm not saying he's ass. I'm not saying he's shit. I just think we kind of overrated him a bit after knocking out Unks. Like, I remember at one point when he knocked out Marlon Moraes. When he knocked out Marlon Moraes, I was like, oh my gosh, one kick and one knee, it's all it takes for Corey Sandhagen. Like, now looking at him in hindsight, he's defensively flawed. Like, I think if he rematched Piotr Jan or anybody like that, I think he'd get finished now. Like, I did not like that he got wobbled by Marab. I'm sorry. I could see Mario Batista hurting him. I mean, like, finishing him if he hurts him. But anyways, I think I've yapped far too long. I apologize. I'm going with Batista 29-28 decision.
Yeah, it's a close fight. Rematch in the bantamweight division. Like Mike said, I do think Corey Sandhagen's defense has got a lot to be desired just because Marab is able to rock you on the feet. That being said, it was a close fight against Marab. I think Sandhagen's a good MMA fighter, but so is Mario Batista. And I feel like we've kind of seen Sandhagen hit his peak. He hasn't really KO'd anybody since like fucking Frankie Edgar and Marlon Moraes, like Mike said. And that was kind of like his big selling point because he was getting subbed by fucking Aljamain Sterling like a fight before that, and they still wanted to push him for some reason. They're like, oh, look at this spinning wheel kick against Marlon Moraes, who's now a police officer, or fucking Frankie Edgar, who's retired and at RAF. Ever since then, it's kind of been cardio decision striking. The on-fight's also doing a lot of heavy lifting for Sandhagen, but I feel like right now he's more interested in being like a quirky, weird dude on Instagram instead of being like a real serious fighter. I feel like he's kind of low-key changing for the worse. Like back in the day, he was talking about Sun Tzu and fucking Machiavelli and all that shit. Now he's talking about like fucking OnlyFans. He's kind of cooked in my opinion. I feel like it's a lot different than the first fight. Mario Batista's more in his prime. He's improved more, whereas I feel like Sandhagen's kind of the same. I kind of want to go with Mario Batista here. I know he's boring, but Sandhagen really ain't been exciting in a long time either. So I'm going to go Mario. I like him in this fight. I'm going to say decision.
Okay. I will say Mario Batista is a solid fighter where, like, he's not great anywhere, but he's solid in most areas in MMA. With that being said, I got Corey again. I got him, one judge saying at 30-27, the other two 29-28. I feel like the first round is going to be a toss-up. But here's the thing. I think Mario Batista has improved. I still don't see any advantage over Corey in this because I feel like Corey did look bad against Marab. But I feel like there's only one non-champion who's beat Corey, and that's Umar. And I feel like Mario, he's good enough to make it very competitive and close. I don't think he's good enough to win. And even today, I still don't think he's the better grappler between them. With that being said, I got Corey in a decision. It's going to be competitive, though. Because, like I said, Mario is solid, but I'm going Corey again.
High-level fight in the bantamweight division in our first of two rematches in this main card. Corey Sandhagen, former title challenger. I mean, he has fought the who's who of the bantamweight division. He's fought Marab Dabalishvili. He's fought Piotr Jan, Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw. Mario Batista originally beat him via submission the first time they met. Umar Nurmagomedov, Rob Font, Davison Figueiredo, Marlon Vera, Song Yadong. I mean, the list goes on and on. Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, John Lineker, Sun Tzu. I mean, this guy has literally fought just about everybody in the bantamweight division outside of Sean O'Malley. Like, really. Very good fighter, very technical, trains in Denver. Used to fight. I think he still is pretty good with like Trevor Whitman and them at Elevation, but recently he's got like his own gym now where he's like teaching striking and stuff. But I imagine he still stays in touch with those guys. Yeah. As for his opponent, Mario Batista, good momentum for the guy, man. His only career losses are Sandhagen. He got finished by Trevin Jones, and outside of that, I mean, he's 11-3 in the UFC. Beat Aldo, beat Patchy Mix, beat Vinicius Oliveira, Ricky Simone. Not the best names, but names nonetheless. What I like about Mario is that he goes for it in the sense of maybe not the finish, but just the act going forward and engaging in offense, whether it's his grappling, whether it's his cage riding or his striking. This guy is going to go forward. Like, he doesn't, like, he's not this outside retreat kind of fighter. Like, no, like, he pushes a pace. He wears tempo. He trains at MMA Lab with the likes of Sean O'Malley, Marcus McGee, guys like that. This is a very competitive fight. I think Sandhagen, you could argue, dare I say, is on a decline, whereas Mario is kind of rising to his peak. I do think Mario has gotten a lot better since the first time they fought. That was a while ago, like around 2020, 2019, something like that. I think Mario is well rounded to have significant grappling success in this fight. I think this is going to primarily be a striking fight, but if one of them is going to have wrestling upside, I do think it would be Mario Batista. And even if he can't get takedowns, the fight that sticks out to me is the TJ Dillashaw fight. I'm going to go Mario Batista by decision here. And the real reason is the TJ Dillashaw fight. I know Sandhagen got robbed in that fight, but after round one, Dillashaw is basically on one leg and one eye, and he still gets out-controlled in that fight. I think Batista can compete with him on the feet. I think he can push him backwards, and I think he can do some cage riding. He has the better record. I'm going to go Mario Batista by decision. I think he's a new face in this bantamweight division. I think he's well-rounded. He's active. He pushes the pace. And it's the TJ Dillashaw loss and the Merab Dvalishvili loss that do it for me here. Now, I know you could say, well, Batista's not on their level, but I think he can implement similar things that they both did in their fights and be effective against Sandhagen. And Sandhagen's kind of lost the plot for me. Like, I liked it when he was more hell-bent for finishes. Granted, it was against Marias and Edgar, but like even the Song Yadong fight, he just doesn't look as aggressive as he did in that fight in previous, like, last couple fights. So I'm going to go Mario Batista by decision as we head to the co-main event of the evening in the lightweight division, where we have Benoit Saint-Denis, the God of War, 17-3, representing France, going up against Paddy, the Batty Pimlet, 23-4, representing the UK. Mike, kick it off.
All right. Tough fight. I did some deep studies on this fight. It's kind of a hard fight to predict. But I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett. I wasn't entirely impressed with every fight from Benoit defensively. I'm not. His best win right now is Rufi. I'm sorry. Like, none of his wins really impress me. None of them really like make me think he's that good. His last fight against Dan Hooker, if Dan Hooker wasn't such a tard, he would have won that fight. On the feet, he was piecing up Benoit, cooking him on the feet. I'm not sitting here and acting like, Paddy Pimblett's got like high tier striking, but in that fight with Benoit and some other fights that I've seen from Benoit, he's just got a good high kick. He's got some decent moves. Other than that, what does he have on the feet to present on the table? Like, he was getting pieced up by I forgot the Brazilian dude's name on short notice. Not on short notice, that he lost to. He lost to a dude from American Top Team. Aliski Dos Santos. He lost to him. I did not like that. Honestly, he just hasn't really impressed me. Like, most of the people he's beaten are just mid to me. I think Paddy's better. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like Paddy's wins are anything special either. Like, beat Michael Chandler. Wow. Congratulations, man. At first, I wanted to go with Benoit Saint-Denis because I wasn't impressed with the Gaethje fight. But in hindsight, man, Gaethje was. I hate to say it, but Gaethje's Gaethje, man. He's good. I guess.
I guess
he's good. I guess he's good. I don't know. I'm not really entirely impressed with the UFC career of Benoit. I think if Renato Moicano can get you in dangerous positions like that, I think Paddy can too. I'm going to go with a second round finish for Paddy, maybe a third round finish. I think it could go to a decision. I think if it does hit a close competitive decision, I think it will favor Paddy. I've seen Paddy take some dangerous shots on the feet, man. Like, there was punches that Paddy was getting hit with on Gaethje where I'm like, how the fuck isn't he hurt out of there yet? Like, it's crazy to me. And honestly, this is gonna sound like a crazy take. Prior to the eye pokes, because Gaethje was poking him in the fucking eye a lot, there was moments where Paddy was looking good. Like, Paddy was having great moments on the fight. People kind of just seen it as, oh, Gaethje beat the shit out of him, but Gaethje was landing... I mean, Paddy was landing some good shots on there. And honestly, I don't think Benoit's taking those shots. Benoit doesn't really look durable in these fights. Like, he's eaten some decent shots, but I don't see him having a close competitive fight with Gaethje or anything like that. I don't see him going the distance with Gaethje. I see Gaethje finishing him, honestly. I'm not really high on Benoit Saint Denis. Never really was. So I'm gonna go with a second round finish. Either Paddy subs him or Paddy ground and pound TKOs him. One of the two. I am kind of nervous though because there is anything could happen in MMA, but I'm not really hyped up on Benoit.
Yeah, on paper, it's a close fight. Both these guys kind of got a sloppy style of striking, and both are primarily grapplers. And I think that's the key here because we've seen, Paddy get outstruck before. We've seen Benoit get outstruck before. But we've only seen one of them get out-grappled, and that was Benoit against Moicano. And Moicano beat the fucking shit out of him. And honestly, it was very similar to the way Paddy did Michael Chandler. And I do think Benoit is better than Chandler, of course, but it just looked similar. In full mount, landing like 12 to 6 elbows, just cutting him up with elbows, bloodying him up. I think Paddy could do that exact same thing that he did to Chandler and that Moicano did to BSD in this fight. And I think the striking's close. I could see Benoit letting the body kicks go early, scrapping in the pocket a little bit more, wanting to fight in a closer range on the feet, whereas Paddy's going to want to throw kind of fruity kicks, question marks, teeps, leg kicks, stomp kicks, all that type of stuff at range. But, he did get a round of striking off on Gaethje and won a round in the striking against Gaethje, which is looking pretty good now. I think he's improving more. He's a younger fighter. And, yeah, I just think he's the better grappler, which is the biggest key here. And that's why I'm going to pick him to win by submission in the third round. I think he'll beat on him in the ground and pound with the elbows, and eventually it'll open up like a rear naked choke or something like that in the third. So I'm going to say Paddy, rear naked choke, third round, finishes BSD in the co-main event.
Yeah, I got Paddy in this fight, but this fight it's so interesting. I really look at this like a 50-50 fight. This is dangerous. None of them are great strikers. But what I will say is, before I say what I'm going to say, his striking coach got the greatest job in the world. I'm telling you he does. But Paddy's striking is effective at times. Technically, it may not be good. But Paddy, you feel me? It's effective. With that being said, I got something to ask about BSD. Does he take showers? Because every time I see him, he got staph infection. Seriously.
I don't think he does. I genuinely don't think he does.
Bro,
and by the way, people don't talk about it because it didn't really show in the Moicano fight because he was getting his ass whooped that badly. He had staph in that fight too.
Yeah,
Nobody mentions it.
Yeah,
had staph in that fight, had staph in the Dustin fight too, and I feel like he just purposely doesn't shower so he can make built-in excuses at this point.
Man, maybe he's allergic to the water. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Him specifically, I understand there's times fighters get staph infection. I seen Kevin Lee get staph infection. I seen some Dagestani fighters get staph infection for obvious reasons. But him? Oh yeah, BSD gonna get staph every other fight. But with that being said, man, maybe it's a strategy. Maybe you don't want to grapple him because he stink. I don't know. With that being said, I'm picking Paddy, and I think it's gonna be a real competitive fight. But I got Paddy finishing him on the ground.
Co-main event of the evening of International Fight Week, UFC 329 in the lightweight division. The God of War going up against the Baddie. This is an interesting fight. Both these guys are very exciting. Both these guys goes forward, takes chances, take risks. Not the best defense. Very hittable, but nonetheless very entertaining fighters in their own ways. Paddy Pimblett, I think, has an all-time chin, as we all seen in his last fight against Justin Gaethje. I mean, that was insane, the amount of punishment he took in that fight. Guy is tough as nails. He has good BJJ. His striking's improving, but as Jay said, I think his coach has the best job in the world. He just says yes and nods his head, smiles, and all things are good to go. Pimblett just seems to think he knows what he's doing. I remember me and Jay were watching a Scottish content creator spar with him, and he was landing at will. It was hilarious. I showed Mike and Alex that clip as well. That Scottish guy is like known for like eating terrible food or something on his videos. Like, it's funny, but he was landing consistently on Pimblett. But for what it's worth, Pimblett, I mean, his only losses in the UFC is Justin Gaethje. It's not bad. Arguably the Jared Gordon fight, but that's a conversation for another day. Now for his opponent, Benoit. I like Benoit. I think he's a good fighter. He's very entertaining. His only losses in the UFC are American top team guys: Zaleski Dos Santos, Dustin Poirier, Renato Moicano, and those are his only losses in general in his career. I think he's the better striker in this matchup. Both have bad defense. I do trust Pimblett's chin more. It seems like every fucking BSD fight week we have to worry if he has a staph infection. Allegedly, he has one here. Dirty
Allegedly.
motherfucker. He's very dirty, but for the most part, 17-3 in 20 fights, and he's got wins over Mauricio Rufy, Dan Hooker, strikers that I do rate higher than Pimblett. It's an interesting fight because I could see submission potential presenting itself for Pimblett in like the takedown attempts at BSD. But if I'm BSD's coach, I've seen him do work with Saladin Parnasse recently. I keep this fight on the feet. I think BSD is the better striker, despite Pimblett having the better chin. I'm going to go BSD here. I don't think he's going to knock out Pimblett, and I think the longer the fight goes, it will favor Pimblett. But I don't know, man. I feel like BSD, the body kicks, I think he's got more power in his hands. I'm not picking him to knock out Pimblett, and I don't think he'll out-grapple him, but I think he's just going to be a better MMA fighter here. I feel like he's going to get takedowns when he needs to, get top position, ground and pound, work on the feet, kicks at range. I am concerned with the cut susceptibility of BSD, bad optics, and he did get a doctor stoppage loss in the Renato Moicano fight. But I think Moicano's a better boxer technically than Pimblett. I think Poirier hits harder than Pimblett, and I think Zaleski Dos Santos was a welterweight and hits obviously harder than Pimblett. If Pimblett doesn't get a sub, I think BSD wins this fight. I think he's a better wrestler. I think he's a better striker. Contrary to popular opinion, where a lot of people think there's going to be a finish in this fight, I'm going to go BSD in a decision war. I think Pimblett's just too tough to put away, and I think BSD is going to be ahead on points because of the damage he would have landed on the feet. I'm going to go BSD by decision, where his strikes and his takedowns are valued higher than the submission attempts of Pimblett. And I know it's hard to see that because, like, the staff and he should gas out as the fight progresses, but I think Pimblett's going to let him off the hook in certain exchanges. I know the Gaethje loss is aging well, but I do think BSD could have a chance against Gaethje, but that's a combo for another day. I'm going to go BSD by decision in a war as we head to the main event of the evening. Return of the notorious Conor McGregor going up against Max Holloway in the rematch. Mike, you know what to do.
Can you all hear me? Good? Okay. Let me tell y'all something. I know people think, oh, why would you pick a Conor McGregor? 5 years, 5-year layoff, this and that, yada, 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 right? People would think I'm going with Max Holloway, right? People don't know me, man. I was that kid years ago copingly picking Conor to beat Khabib. And I even had facts to pick Conor to beat Khabib. Like, I think Conor is good, man. I mean, despite the layoff, I get that. But my thing is, going into this fight, Max, he's good. He's a good fighter, a good striker. But I think Conor is levels above him on the feet. And I'm going to tell you why. Exhibit A. I'll just get this out of the way because it's an easy an easy example. Going into fight week, if y'all seen, Max looks pudgy. Like he does not look prepared. While Connor's been in the gym for the whole year. He has been nothing. He's done nothing but train. Looks in shape. Looks motivated. I think we're getting motivated McGregor back, and we all know how dangerous he is. He's damn near a whole meme about that. Like I think Connor is. I think this is going to be the best Connor we've gotten in a minute. Second, Max's chin is not the same anymore. I think me and Alex were talking about this. The best thing that was saving Max in his career was his chin because his defense was atrocious. He would allow people to literally punch his head in. I think right now, I think he still is the guy that's absorbed the most significant strikes in UFC history. Like, bro is known to be hit. Like, watch the Calvin Kattar fight. There's literally moments where he's allowing Calvin Kattar to fucking hit him in the face. It's atrocious, man. Can Conor lose this fight? He could. But I don't think so, man. I think he's going to catch him. Unk Poirier, that was already ready to retire, was able to hurt him. There was other fights where, like, I think I wasn't really entirely impressed by that Poirier fight, in my opinion. Everybody was impressed by it. Oh, look how he looked and this and that. But I felt like he needed to catch a Dustin Poirier at an old age to get him there, man. Like, I think Poirier nearly hurt him. And if that's Conor that hurt him, he ain't going for no fucking guillotine. He's going for the extra shots, man. I'm going with Conor McGregor. I'm going to go with a second round KO or third round KO, one of the two. I think he's going to look good. I think in the feet it's going to be competitive. But I think once Conor finds his rhythm, he's going to be fucking dangerous, man. I think he's going to land dangerous shots on Max. This is going to be a risky pick. This could bite me in the ass, but I'm going to stand 10 toes deep, man. I've been watching a lot of tape. The only way for Max to win, man, is if he outvolumes Conor. This is the man. This dude's been in the gym back. Got away from the booger sugar, got away from partying, stopped drinking, lived in the gym. He's literally going back to the days where he was on welfare, bro. Like, I think this is the best Conor we're gonna get, and I think honestly, this is the funniest thing ever. Conor McGregor, in the first time in nearly a decade, is on the path to being a champ again. This is the funny part. If he wins this fight and if he goes back to 55, if he can go back to 55, I should say that. If he can, then I think if he can and if he wins this fight, there in the first time in nearly 10 years, this motherfucker has an opportunity to become champ again. But I don't know if he'll be champ in welterweight, but I do think he could. There's a possibility he could be champ again against Gaethje. But anyways, I think I've yapped far too long about this. I think Conor's is gonna catch him with a hook or a kick. And I think Conor can do this, man. And Max Holloway is not good at rematches. He has not done well in rematches. He's been three-peated. And he's down 2-1 against Dustin, but that's another discussion for another time. If you're getting caught, I'll just end it off with this. If you're getting caught by the worst version of Poirier, Conor's coming for you.
Yeah, at first I was thinking, how is this close? Max Holloway's been active. Conor McGregor's been inactive. Max Holloway's going to beat him. He's at the top of the sport. But then I realized this is one of the only fights where the opponent to Conor is not a better grappler than he is. I get that Max Holloway has good cardio, and he does. He has better cardio than McGregor. And if he wins, he's going to be using that cardio. But this whole Max Holloway, the undefeated, or not undefeated, but you know what I mean? Like, he get in your face, and each shot you hit him with, he could take it, and then he'll throw 10 back at you. That ain't the same because his chin's been cracked. That's a confidence thing, and it's just a straight-up durability thing. And nobody's taken more shots to the head than Max Holloway. And in the last 5 years, he's taken a ton of shots to the head in a lot of different fights. The rematch with Volk, he's taken shots against Poirier, Gaethje, Topuria, Oliveira. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor probably hasn't taken more than 3, in like sparring. Conor McGregor has not been hit in the head for 5 years, whereas Max Holloway is notorious for being easy to hit. And only just now are we starting to see the repercussions of that. He's starting to get dropped and hurt in all the last couple of his fights, whereas that never used to happen. He was one of the few guys that had never been dropped up until recently. And as soon as he's dropped by Gaethje in a fight he otherwise dominated, Topuria KOs him. Dustin on his last legs drops him. Oliveira beats his ass on the feet and wobbles him all over the cage. It seems like McGregor can do it too. Nobody's as good of a finisher than McGregor. I feel like McGregor will hurt Holloway at some point in this fight. And when he does, nobody can finish a fight better. Conor McGregor has Artem Lobov, or had Artem Lobov for that purpose, just to drill finishes. How to finish a motherfucker after you get him hurt and actually get the TKO victory. Conor McGregor, even if he wanted to, he can mix in the grappling. And 170, that's huge advantage for Conor. He can actually be a built, huge, athletic guy in the weight class, whereas Max Holloway, I'm expecting Max Holloway in the second Dustin fight. Pudgy, not ready to make this weight, taking it on relative short notice just because it's Conor, kind of like the Dustin fight. It was an opportunity. And I know they're saying he knew about it. I honestly don't believe it. I think McGregor knew way longer than Max did, even when Max did get it heard, like the same time. I think Max knew when we knew, to be honest. But I think this is a good stylistic matchup. It isn't just always, this guy's active and this guy isn't. This is a good stylistic matchup for Conor. This is why they're doing it. They're not trying to kill Conor yet. They know how big of a draw he is. Conor McGregor, I think, gets it done by TKO in the first 2 rounds. I'm going to say second round. I'm going to give Max a little bit of respect, but I think Conor gets it done. And I think it's going to be fucking electric in the stadium or the arena when it happens. That is going to be a moment of all time for sure.
Man, I think y'all said everything I wanted to say about Conor versus Max. About it should favor Max, but Conor does have some things going into his favor. He hasn't got hit in the past 5 years. Yeah, but there is a counter to that cage rust. That could be a thing, but I like that he hasn't taken no shots. And he's dragging Max up to 170, like we said. Max not used to 170. I feel like this is going to be a rushed process like when he fought Dustin the second time. It probably is. But I know what Max's game plan is. It's going to be to drown Conor, right? To survive the storm, right? If he survives the storm, it's going to get scary. Now everything changes. But I think to start the fight, Conor's going to take the center, have Max on the back foot. Max been fighting on the outside for the most part the past few years anyway. But I think even though it was years ago, when you beat somebody before, you have that certain level of confidence. Because in Conor's head, he feels like, even though he's been away, he feels, I beat him before. He probably don't think he's the same fighter, but he probably think he's a different version of the same guy I fought. Like a better version. But he still believes he can crack Max. And this is the one time Conor's not going to grapple, but this is the one time Conor has a grappling advantage over somebody, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I got Conor second round TKO, and I feel like it's going to flip the MMA world upside down, right? Because I'm going to be real, right? The UFC want to get him killed, right? And milk him for everything he got left. Just not this fight, though. They don't want him to get killed this fight. And I think Conor is going to pick Max apart. But with that being said, there is a world where it just goes the opposite way. There's a reason Max is favorite. But yeah, it's the return of the Mac. Yeah, Conor's back, and he's going to beat Max in devastating fashion.
Main event of International Fight Week, UFC 329, the anticipated rematch and the return of Conor McGregor. This is an amazing card, amazing fight. This is one of them ones, man. This is a rematch. Max Holloway wants to get his lick back. This is a banger. I think the layoff is the main reason that Conor McGregor is the underdog for obvious reasons. He hasn't fought since I want to say 2021 was the third Poirier fight. 5 years away from the sport. And what Jay said, rust is a real thing. That is true. But also what Alex said, the time off from the sport helps you recover. I think the layoff would have been more crucial, but in this particular matchup, I think Jay, Mike, and Alex all said great points that stylistically, where even though Holloway is the favorite, I kind of think McGregor has the upper hand, and I'm going to tell you why. I would have feared the rust if it was a power puncher, a grappler, or an avid leg kicker. Holloway is not a power puncher. He has, with his move to lightweight, his power has gotten better, but he's still not a one-punch guy. He's not a grappler, as we've seen in his last fight against Oliveira, and he's not really an avid leg kicker like a Volkanovski or a Justin Gaethje. He throws head kicks and body kicks. And Jay made a really good point that he's kind of evolved his style. He's no longer that pressure boxer tank at 145 he used to be. He's more on the outside now. I feel like, honestly, ever since the first Volkanovski fight, or he just kind of got out leg kicked in that entire fight, he's changed his game to be more footwork oriented, more outside. We saw that in the second Volkanovski fight. We saw that in the Calvin Kattar fight and all the other fights going forward. A point that Alex also made in the last 5 years, Holloway's taken damage. He's been dropped by old man Poirier. He got knocked out by Topuria. He got dropped by Gaethje. He even, he took a couple shots in the Arnold Allen fight too. He took damage in the third Volkanovski fight. Like, McGregor has rust and he has layoff, but I think in this particular matchup, it's not that big a deal. I think the 5-inch reach advantage, the rematch record as Mike presented, but to be fair, in Holloway's defense, he is losing rematches to Poirier and Volkanovski, who are very good fighters. But I do think Conor McGregor is on that level as well. I think Conor McGregor is a sniper, the 5-inch reach advantage, the southpaw looks, the power advantage in this matchup. I am going to go Conor McGregor in the upset. I'm going to go second round TKO. Like I said, I think Max not being a grappler, not being a power puncher, not being a leg kicker is big for me. I think body shots are going to be open for McGregor. I think he's the better kicker, honestly. I really do. I think Holloway just isn't going to take advantage of the things he needs to take advantage of. And honestly, for his game to get going with a 5-inch reach disadvantage, he has to almost like zombie his way into the fight. I feel like he's going to, like Jay said, he's going to have to weather a storm and he's going to have to extend the fight and kind of drown Conor. The thing is, he might get drowned in the process. And even if his approach is to extend the fight and not push the tempo, I feel like that's going to almost be to his detriment because now you're letting McGregor settle in and get the rust off. So Holloway was known for pushing a chaotic pace back in the day, but you look at his last couple fights, it's not as crazy. Even the Gaethje fight, go rewatch that fight. He's not going crazy with volume. If he tries to have that style kickboxing matchup with McGregor, I don't care it's a 5-year layoff. I think McGregor's more powerful, more accurate, a point more durable to be. I'll go second round TKO Conor McGregor. I just think this fight also being at welterweight, for him to not have to drain at 150. This is a lightweight fight at welterweight against the guy he already beat. They are making this for him. This is your chance, Conor, to get right back into big fights. I think the power when you're really down, he doesn't really get knockouts like that. I think body shots will be over for McGregor. I'm going to go second round TKO for the Notorious. And I understand people are going to look at us sideways for picking this, but if you know, you know. I think McGregor is going to show people that in his time off, he's going to be all right. I expect him to look jacked during weigh-ins and in the fight. I think he's going to look in better shape than Holloway. Alex and Mike brought it up too. Holloway should look reminiscent of what he did against Poirier in the second fight. So, yeah, I'm going with the underdog, the Notorious, in the main event. If there's anything you guys would like to add about 329, feel free.
Pumped for it. I can't wait. At first, there was a point in time where I thought Conor was probably never going to fight again. I hope he comes in the best we've ever seen him, like I expect him to show out. This is an overall great card, and honestly, if y'all know, like McGregor cards aren't really this stacked like that. Like look. Can you scroll down? Like scroll down. Like at first, the co-main event was a Holly Holm and fucking Raquel Pennington rematch. That shit was hell. Like honestly, this is actually not a bad card. Prelims are stacked. Main card is stacked. I can't wait for this card, man. I'm pumped for it.
All right. We appreciate you guys for watching our video. Make sure to go like and subscribe. And yeah, can't wait. UFC 329. Here we are, International Fight Week. Let's go out and have a banger.